Time for the ride home in ENC.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
This is your 5 o'clock drive with Patrick Johnson.
Holy mackerel!
More news, more interviews, more ECU stories than you can shake a stick at. Hey, stop shaking that stick. This is the Patrick Johnson Show.
Pirates win! Pirates win!
On 94.3 The Game.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Patrick Johnson Show. Nice to have you with us here. It is a Friday edition to get you to the weekend edition here on 94.3 The Game, 94.3thegame.com online, and then the IBX Media app on your connected device, your mobile device or your tablet or iPad. Wherever you could download apps, you can put the IBX Media app on there today. We've got J.H. Rose football coming up tonight. It'll be Stephen Walter and myself from Percy Daniels Field as Rose takes on South Central. It is the 50th anniversary of the J.H. Rose State Championship team, their first state championship team in 75. A lot of the great players and members of that team are in town now. A lot of them played in the Scales Aldridge golf tournament earlier today to raise money for Rose Athletics. So they have a lot of activity going on around Row High football. So tonight they'll play South Central, the conference opener for both teams. We'll talk to Will Bland coming up in a little bit. Baseball yesterday, it is a little bit of a mixed bag out of yesterday's wild card round for us here on the Patrick Johnson Show. Philip the Ref Pilkington with the black armband today, a little bit of mourning for him. But he's got his Panthers gear on, so he's obviously an optimist. And as for me, I'm elated, quite excited, quite thrilled.
The good Lord wants the Cubs to win!
Absolutely, Harry. The good Lord wants the Cubs to win. And they beat San Diego yesterday. I'm going to be really, really honest with you, Pilk. I like to be an honesty broker on the show, as you know.
Yep.
And I did not watch a second of the Yanks Sox for a couple of reasons. I had to travel after the Cubs game. So I listened to the Cubs post-game show from the Cubs radio network. And so I was listening to that. It was all interviews, no insight. I got no insight. The last time the Cubs were in the postseason, the late, great Ryan Sandberg was on their postgame. They had him kind of as a special guest for the playoffs. And Rhino would get on there and, provide analysis as a Hall of Fame all-time great player could.
Yeah.
These were just a couple of jock sniffers doing it. I mean, it was cool to hear from Craig Counsell and the players on the field and their front office people and all that. It was a big celebration in Wrigley. But I didn't watch. But I'll tell you this. I think if they could have preempted the Cubs and put your guys on ESPN and not have shown the end of the Chicago game, the worldwide leader would have done it in a heartbeat because they didn't stick around for any of the post game or any of that. They went right to Yanks Sox. So what happened to your guys last night?
Well, first off, congratulations. Happy for you. And it's going to be fun to see Council manage against Milwaukee. Obviously,
I hate the Brewers.
I know.
I do not like the Brewers.
But he was there, right? He was there. Yeah, you guys poached
And
him.
he's the reason they've been so good for so long.
Yeah. And what happened to the Sox was that Schlittler kid was the best player on the field. I mean, it's plain and simple. Some people would text me saying the Sox didn't hit well. Well, that guy just kept throwing fastball, and they were sitting on fastball and still couldn't catch up to it. It was like watching Skeens pitch. And then somebody said, well, the Sox had a bad inning defensively. Well, they did, but they were already down 2-0 in that inning and then had like one weird hop that made it 4-0, but they still would have lost the game 2-0. At the end of the day, that kid went out there and won that baseball game for his team, and there was nothing anybody could do to change it. And that's, I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, they won it, Now, when I go to the game Sunday, the Panthers will probably give it away, and I'll actually be ticked off at the team. Last night, I was just kind of ticked off at the result. But, you got to tip your cap to the kid. I mean, there's nothing to be upset about. He won the game. Good for him.
Cubs defensively were very, very good yesterday. They did a lot of things to kind of
help their pitchers out.
Help their pitchers keep their outings going by not having them pile up pitches. Swanson, man, what a breakout for him coming to Chicago. I mean, to me, he was the MVP of yesterday's game in a lot of ways.
I think he is. Is there a chance you guys lose him for a couple days? She's due. She's close. I mean, it's like she's definitely third trimester. I don't know if she's due during October or not, but you guys might lose Dansby for a day. He might be becoming a dad soon. Mal's close. I don't know how close she is, but yeah.
Is it his first?
It's his first, yeah.
Oh, I was
they've only been married a couple of years.
Third. Yeah, if it's second or third. By the way, a couple of other things, and we need to get to the top five here. We're going to talk more baseball with Mike Mullis, but Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, she's Charlie was from Chicago and a Cubs fan.
Yeah.
And so she posted, like a lot of us Cub fans did on social media afterwards, something celebrating the win, and just the disgusting replies from people towards her.
She's celebrating her team winning.
Well, in honor of her husband, who was a Cubs fan.
It's ridiculous.
Grow up, people. Is so screwed up right now. And I know we're in the toy department with the sports, but God knows, people are just, they just disappoint you every single time. All right, enough of that. It's Friday. Let's finish the week on an uplifting note. Here is our top 5 at 5 to wrap up the week.
This may very well be our last mission. Let's make it count.
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
It's impossible.
Now some stories you may have heard.
Ready?
Or catch it for the first time. This is your 5 at 5 with the P-Man.
Number one, we're going to take a trip around the Pirate Athletics calendar. Last night, soccer got the 2-2 draw against FAU. They have the weekend off. They will host Temple next Thursday, and the only Pirate Athletics in action this weekend will be volleyball. They will be hosting Tulane on Sunday, and PJ will be on the call.
Yep, I'll be on ESPN Plus with Brittany Hoyt. I want to also give a shout to Shane Winkler. They will be playing this weekend against, I think, Campbell. At 2 o'clock in a fall ball schedule, so that's out there as well if you're looking for something to do tomorrow.
And you can see Michael Buscemi and his wife because he's going. He already told me
he's going?
Yep.
Well, there you go. That's exciting. That'll explain the odor. I'm kidding. I'm joking. It's Friday. We're just having some ha-has. We're just having some ha-has here on the PJ Show. And they will play at Elon Sunday. I talked yesterday with Shane Winkler, catching up with him. I'm not going to tell tales out of school on Shane Winkler, but we are in a couple of weeks going to get him on the program, Pilk.
All right.
And we've got an awesome – there's something he's done that I think is really, really cool. It's not anything noble. It's just something he's done for himself, and I'm hoping I can convince him to tell about it in public. If he's hearing this, he's probably like, shut up, Patrick. All right, so let me see here. We've got the Pirate soccer getting a much-needed point in conference play, so that's good from that standpoint, and we'll see what Adler Augustine's team can do. I was going through some of my stuff here this morning, Pilk, and you can see my I still got to fill out some numbers on it, but, my volleyball charts for ECU and Tulane. This is not a team that has a lot of firepower right now. I mean, it's kind of Ellie Pate and everybody else. So they got to get better plays in the middle. You just can't have as many hitting errors as they have had. But that's part of being a young team and not having some places to go. So they'll have to shore it up against Tulane, who plays at Charlotte tonight.
Number 2.
All right, number 2, we're going to flip over to college basketball. We'll do the quicker story first, I guess. Duke has agreed to a 6-year deal with men's basketball coach John Shire. This is really just a 2-year extension that takes him through 2031 in the Bull City.
I think this is a lot less jaw-dropping than the announcement last year that Hubert got a contract extension last summer.
Yeah.
So, look, there's a lot of things that you could criticize Mike Krzyzewski for in his final year and the way it unfolded as far as the retirement tour. I think he put a lot of pressure on some young guys, but they made it to the Final Four. Especially the last month, it was a little bit of a mixed result because losing the last game of Krzyzewski's career in Cameron to the Heels and then obviously losing his last ever game to the Tar Heels. Since then, North Carolina, it's almost like the Tar Heel program sold its soul to the devil, because they've not been quite the same ever since. They've been chronically underachieving. With all of that said, Krzyzewski's succession plan was a brilliant succession plan. I think Shire is the right coach for this day and era. You know, everybody talks about guys going to the NBA and this and that and the other. I think if you're Duke, you don't have to worry about any players going to the NBA. They've got that down pat. Guys can be one and done, and they can have success. I think you got to worry about Shire going to the NBA at some point.
Yeah, I know. He's going to get that call, right? And we saw Danny Hurley turn down that call, and UConn's feeling pretty good about it. Got some friends that are UConn fans. They were pretty happy when that happened 2 years ago. So I think if Duke can get over that first hump with Shire, they're good. But, you know, it's happened so many times, right? What would LSU be right now if Saban never took that call? So,
sure.
Yeah.
Well, and I think of Brad Stevens, you know, obviously he's at Butler. Butler's not Duke, but still.
3.
All right, number 3, On3 Sports is reporting that they are potentially going to a 12-game opening round of the NCAA tournament, expanding to 76 teams.
You know, this would create 2 sites rather than the first 4 in Dayton. It would become 3 games a day, potentially. I think Ross Dellinger was kind of playing with the numbers on that. So you'd have a Western site. Was it Dellinger or somebody else who reported that? You'd have a Western
Dellinger,
site.
yeah.
Out west, Dayton would be your eastern site. It would be, look, it's just more TV revenue. And to me, it doesn't quite bastardize the thing. I know there's some people who are critical of we don't need more teams in the tournament. A lot of people were resistant to 68. But it doesn't quite water it down, in my opinion, right now. Now, it's an inevitable step to, 96 or maybe 120?
That would water it down.
I mean,
120, yeah. When you start messing with the field of 64, I think it messed it up. But I don't think this would be my line. Ended here. As far as
my other question, because I think you're going to end up with where it's going to be. That would be 8 more teams. So I think you're going to have 8 more teams attached to whatever this is. At what point do the conference tournaments become irrelevant? That's the push and pull with this.
Yeah.
And what I mean by
unless you're playing in the MEAC,
right, it would become non-existent, because right now a lot of conferences have moved their championship games to Saturday.
Yeah.
I think it's worked out great for the ACC. But you're having a lot of you only have 2 or 3 Sunday championship games now.
Yeah.
All right. That is that to me, as they add inventory, are you going to end up with 2 days where it's going to be full basketball? Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know.
Full.
All right, number 4, we are going to talk deeper in with Mike Mully on this. Hey, Mully, we do see you, by the way. The NL and ALDS set, we got Cubs Brewers, 2 o'clock tomorrow. Yanks Blue Jays will be at 4. Dodgers Phillies at 6:30. And 8:30 will be Tigers Mariners.
You know, I don't know what the numbers are, and we'll get into some of this with Mike coming up in just a little bit, but I've really enjoyed, and it helps to have a dog in the fight, so to speak. But it's kind of exciting to have watched these playoffs. It's been great. I watched a little bit of Cleveland, Detroit as well.
Yeah.
I watched the game where the Yanks came back and tied it up the other night. It's been really entertaining to watch. And I think a lot of it is because you've not lost that playoff intensity, but the games are still shorter than they were. I mean, there were playoff games back in the day, Pilk. And when I say back in the day, I mean as recently as 7 or so seasons ago, maybe even less than that. That would be 4-hour marathons.
Oh, yeah. It would be.
Nobody wants that.
No.
5.
Number 5, Pirates are off this week. A lot of intriguing college football, including Vanderbilt at Alabama, Battle of the Sunshine State, Miami, and Florida, and one that could have a big effect on the American. Let's remember, Notre Dame, 3 of the last 4 seasons, has lost to a Group of 5 opponent. They're hosting Boise State. Boise did lose to South Florida earlier in the year, but if they can win in South Bend and run the table, they could be, contending with the American for that final spot in the college football playoff.
Yeah, that one intrigued me. I think Vanderbilt, Alabama is not going to be that intriguing. Miami, Florida State could be interesting because it's really the first test for Miami, and it's a conference game.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be really, really interesting. And I say test, I mean Miami's got to go on the road.
Yeah.
And prove they can do it. They've proven they can do it at home, but now they got to go on the road to a big boy environment and prove they can do it.
That's true. And one quick question for you, Patrick: are you ready for the dumpster fire that's happening at noon? Dabo's 1-3, Belichick is 2-2. I'm ready because whoever loses that game, it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, it's probably got a little carnage attached to it, so I'm kind of interested in that, to be honest with you. Is that CW?
No, I think that's noon ESPN.
I think it's ESPN, isn't it? Yeah. You know the worldwide leader wouldn't turn that free.
Yep.
It should be, what was the meme? Cartoon Network is what it should be, probably. So. All right, when we come back, Mike Mullis will join us later in the hour. J.H. Rose, head football coach, Will Bland. But Mike Mully will talk Pirate baseball and postseason baseball with us on the other side.
Remember, get the podcast of the show on the IBX Media app or where you get your podcasts.
I listen on my Apple Watch.
Smart speaker.
Listen while you work.
I listen everywhere.
The Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Hello. Get you to the weekend edition. Best time of year in baseball is the MLB playoffs, and they are going on right now. Mike Mullis joining us here. We'll talk a little ECU fall ball, and we're going to talk just some overall baseball and more with the great Mike Mullis. Life in baseball with Mully. How are you, buddy? Good to have you back on the show. It's been a minute.
No, man, I'm good. Always good to spend time with you guys. And, fall baseball's amongst us, and we've got the series going and or multiple series going and fall baseball over at East Carolina. So, yeah, college football, man, it's a great time of the year. Breaking out the hoodies. It's getting a little cooler. So, all good
nip in the air. A little nip in the air. Pilk, if you boost Mully to me just a hair, I want to hear those docile tones in the sweet spot. So just a little hair if you'll boost Mully to me.
Should be good.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Mully, let me ask you this, though. I want to start with a little bit of you mentioned fall ball and you mentioned local baseball. You worked at Pitt for a number of years. We all know Tommy Eason. He's done a great job, over 600 wins in his career. So any word on what's going on over there? I think a good chance to give Tommy a shout out for what has been a really storied career for him.
Yeah, no, Tommy, one of the very best, not just baseball coach, but matches as a person and a mentor for his players and his coaches that had the opportunity to work with him. But you know what, PJ, I got an opportunity to go out a couple of weeks ago and watch them play. And fall baseball again, they're running guys in and out. They were playing another team, so it wasn't an inter squad. So you didn't really get a full scope of all the players, but some pretty impressive guys. And I'll tell you what, man, they have a tremendous local presence. I'm going to say probably all told somewhere in the 12 to 15 range number of players from the fairly immediate area. So a lot of familiar faces out there and good looking club as usual. Tommy, again, he historically he puts a winner on the field, and I know that they felt good about the arms that were coming back from last year's team as far as pitching wise, and kind of a rarity in junior college baseball, and maybe even in college baseball period these days, but not a ton of turnover on that pitching staff. So bringing some experience back, and man, as a coach, it's always nice. It kind of starts and stops with how you can pitch it.
Mike Mullis with us here. You've been out and seen the Pirates. This is a much different looking ECU team than the one that we saw in the fall last year when you and I have talked about it.
Yeah, some impressive newcomers, right-handed pitcher that they've added that I swear is the likeness to Treyas Savage is heartwarming. I would say scary, maybe scary for the opposing teams, but big, tall right-hander Kobe Weber, mid-90s fastball, good-looking splitty. He looks the part and has been very impressive in the one outing, or was very impressive in the one outing I got to watch. And, you're seeing guys Alex Boucher playing some first base. He's pitched some. He's kind of doing whatever he's got to do to be a contributor for this club. And The key parts that they returned, I mean, Ray Burris, I say Ray, I'm sorry, that's Braden's uncle Ray, a friend of mine, but Braden Burris has put on some really good weight. He doesn't even look like the same guy. He's not much taller, but he certainly fills out the uniform. And so, yeah, I mean, it's, it's fun to watch him. I will tell you the look with Jake Gautreaux, the new hitting coach coming out of the SEC, it looks a little more SEC like, PJ. A lot of balls bludgeoned onto Charles, and they getting off some really aggressive hacks. So I think it'll be fun to see how this team comes together. Obviously, from a pitching standpoint, it's going to be still going down to the wire there in the spring. Do they get the two projected 1 and 2 starters back with Antolik and Towers? But nonetheless, they've got good arms and a good looking group.
That addition, Mully, was a little. I don't want to say like eyebrow raising, but I mean, that was a big time addition to ECU, bringing in a coach from the SEC. So how did all that kind of transpire? And you sort of noted what it potentially will bring. How will it elevate the ECU program?
Well, first off, to get a guy like Coach Goat and the experience he has, I mean, a guy that was a great player himself at Tulane and a high draft pick and I think an 8 or 9 year pro. And Cliff Galvin even referred to it in something I read or heard him talking that, it was kind of a punt. It was a kind of a Hail Mary, shot in the dark, whatever cliche you want to use to get Goat here. And they were able to make it work. And I think you can already kind of, see and feel his impact just being around. But, he's certainly going to be a difference maker for the program at large. So, I think philosophy-wise, if you look for just numbers, and that seems to be the way baseball people like to digest their futures, East Carolina last year, if I'm not mistaken, was like number 9, number 10, top 10 in the country in sacrifice bunts. Mississippi State, where Gautreaux comes from, was like number 185, 188, something like that. So clearly there's going to be a philosophical adjustment, and that's something that that Coach Godwin and Coach Gautreaux and the entirety of the staff, I'm sure, are working through to figure out, kind of where one starts and one stops. I'm not saying that East Carolina is not going to lay a sack bunt. We know that as long as Cliff Godwin's down there and he thinks that it's the best option, that's what's going to happen. But I do expect to see more of what we kind of refer to as A-plus aggressive swings in an attempt to hit the ball really hard early in counts, and then an adjustment to a very noticeable 2-strike look when the hitter is trying to fight his way through it at bat.
Mike Mullis joining us here on the Patrick Johnson Show as we talk baseball. We both know, and we both have heard that apparently a pretty good offer was asked for and given to Ethan Norby. So that's a whole new. This is prior to the NIL kind of being absorbed into rev share. So the athletic department said we're going to honor all the NIL commitments when that was done. So we know Norby, at least from what we understand, is being compensated fairly well to go pitch the ball for the Pirates this year. But that brings with it, as any kind of agreement in sports, I would say contract in pro sports does, that brings with it expectations. So how do you foresee Norby's offseason leading to a season ahead that will meet and possibly exceed those expectations?
I know that he put in a ton of work this summer to improve his game. The money, again, accolades, money. That's why coaches say, hey, we don't want to look at the polls early. We don't want the pressure. As again, we've heard Coach Godwin refer to it as rat poison, a term that we heard Nick Saban use all the time early in the season, as his teams were always ranked in the top 3 nationally. But, I think it does. It intensifies the pressure that you allow it to put on you if you're the player. And like we talk all the time with guys, like you can either feel the pressure or be the pressure. And I think that's going to be Norby's challenge. And, we're talking about a guy that we all love to watch pitch, man. He's, he goes out, he works so efficiently, so quickly, and has been really, really good. So I think the harsh reality of the business of college athletics right now is that Norby was going to get that money and maybe more here or somewhere else. And, there's a market for left-handed pitching. I mean, it's always been highly sought after and coveted. And, so I think the staff did what they realized that they needed to do in making a firm business decision with him and his family. And I think, if he can take it as a motivator, maybe we'll see another gear if there is one for him. But otherwise, I think the Pirates did a good day's work in retaining his services.
Any word on Brett Angelik or Ryan Towers?
Nothing firm. I mean, from what I understand, Towers is still a little ways away. And Tolik maybe a little bit closer than he has been in the past. It's just been a bugaboo for him with that, with that hip injury and whatever else has been there. But, I think they're optimistic that he gets back out. And, I've not been able to catch many of the scrimmages, so I'm not sure to what level even, is Antolik even throwing off the mound at this point. I really don't know and haven't, quite frankly, had the opportunity to ask any of the staff. But I know that obviously if you can infuse those two arms back into your rotation or bullpen, however it may fit at this point, you got to feel really good about where that staff can take you.
All right, Mike, let's shift our gears to the pros. Gavin Williams with a fantastic start, tough luck loser on Tuesday against Detroit. Tigers ultimately win the series over the Guardians. But what a great kind of postseason debut for Gavin Williams. And I think if you're a Cleveland fan, you got to feel really good, especially as he continues to evolve and harness things. And he's really reworked his whole approach. He's reworked everything with his mechanics. But, he's still Big Gav.
Yeah, look, man, he picked up that cutter, and we saw it a lot in his last playoff outing, and it was electric. He made some of those guys look really, really bad. Really bad. Looked like a big leaguer against a high school kid. But, Gavin kind of, it's unfortunate, but he's kind of had that tag of being the tough luck guy for the Guardians. We're just not getting a ton of run support at times, especially early in the season. But just continues to go out and give very consistent efforts and be very competitive in his outings. And it's just so much fun to watch him and all the guys that you kind of watch grow up and shoot. Even for a period of time back during COVID, Gavin worked with me, and I kind of when he got drafted, I was able to send him a couple blackmail pictures of him working and kind of hands-on stuff. And it's just fun, man. It's fun to see a dude like that having success, such a good person. And had a conversation with somebody from his hometown the other day, just kind of accidentally, and they just lauded him as a young man even more than they talked about him as a big league arm.
Trey Savage, we're going to see him. We'll let the dogs out, Molly. We're going to see Trey Savage coming up here, and conceivably see him as he'll be making his debut. I believe he's on the Blue Jays roster for the postseason. Pilk, have they announced that yet? Molly, you may know that. Is he? Is he on the? Postseason roster?
With his call up, I don't know exactly how that fell. If he was able to be put on the postseason roster or not, I know, man. There's so many dates and moving parts, and they can apply for this and hardships and whatever.
Crazy.
Injury. It's hard to keep up with all of it, but it'd be awesome if he is. I would love to. How cool would that be?
Especially considering where he was a year ago. Really. Or a year and a half ago or whatever. I mean, it's really remarkable stuff. Have you watched? Is there any team that, at least of the first ones we have seen, that you say keep an eye out for?
You know what? I think the team that I'm most interested to watch is going to engage here in the next round, and that's going to be the Brewers. I just love the way they go about it. I think that Brewers Cubs, that's one of those unsung rivalries. The Red Sox and Yankees get all the pub, but the Brewers and Cubs certainly have some history. So I'm looking forward to that series. Again, I'm interested to see what Pat Murphy can do with that team in the postseason. He's just such a motivator, and the way he goes about it. So that's kind of my interest there is in the, like I said, in the Brew Crew.
All right, Mully, good to talk to you. We'll get you back on soon to talk some more ball and talk some more Pirates. I think that'd be great. Anyway, take care, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good weekend.
I'm sure you can hear them in the background, but the Mullis dogs wanted to tell you guys hello, so that's what they were clamoring about. So.
How many Mullis dogs are there?
Well, there are two that are here. There are two that are at D.H. Conley right now in class, but the four-legged variety, we have two of them running around.
Oh, I see. Yes, there you go. All right, thank you, Mully. Good stuff.
Okay, buddy. See you guys.
Take it easy, Mully.
The great Mike Mullis. Awesome to have him on. All right, Will Bland. We'll talk J.H. Rose football with him as they open up the conference slate tonight against South Central. It's to get you to the weekend. Football Friday edition of the Patrick Johnson Show. Football Friday edition of the Patrick Johnson Show. As we're getting you to the weekend, it's the Rose Rapids opening up conference play tonight against crosstown rival South Central. We'll have the call for you, Coach Stephen Walter and myself, on 94.3 The Game with an airtime of 6:50 and the 7 o'clock kick from Percy Daniel Stadium in the Minges Farley Athletic Complex. We say hello to one of our great friends, coach of the Rose Rampant football team, Will Bland, joining us on a game day. Coach, I really appreciate it, and looking forward to the matchup tonight, as I know you are.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. It's going to be a big atmosphere out there, especially when you got two county schools going at each other. South Central being what they are, improving year in, year out, and then, us trying to get back to where we want to be at on the winning side of things. So it's going to be a big atmosphere out there for us.
Absolutely. You're coming off an open week, as is South Central. Several teams, it seemed like last week, were on the idle week. But as you look at the non-conference portion, and again, Rose has played probably one of the more challenging non-conference schedules in the entire state. No, it's not the record that you want, but as you look at it going into conference play, it's kind of like a brand new season. How are you feeling about your team?
I'm feeling pretty good about it. I think, like I said, I think we do a good job and challenge ourselves throughout the non-conference schedule so we can be prepared and ready to play in our conference, which is a very good conference that we have. So, we ended up 2-3, but, some of the losses, two of them losses were by 14 points. But, we were right in the game at the end, and it was just malfunctioning, especially 2 weeks ago at Mount Creek. 6 minutes ago in the fourth quarter, and then we had a bonehead play on the sideline on kickoff. So I think we're in a pretty good shape. I think we had a great week of practice this week, and just ready to see the boys put the product on the field.
One thing that you did pull off this year, and I know it was very meaningful to you, not only in the course of the season, but because of your history there, but winning at Havelock 3 weeks ago. That was such a big come-from-behind win, and I think it illustrated exactly just how potent your team can be when it does play mistake-free football, because you scored on your last 3 possessions in the fourth quarter on the road at a place where it's tough to win. I don't care what Havelock's record is. That's a quality football program. And defensively, you all played really, really well in the second half of that one against the Rams.
Right, and that's just some of the things we've been trying to work on. Like, we can't be able, at an offensive standpoint, we go out there and do horrible in the first quarter and then want to play in the second quarter, third quarter. We got to be able to put a whole game together. Like I said, I thought the defense against Havelock, we gave it that first long drive was like Havelock to score no more. So we've been preaching the guy. We got to try to balance out each team. We got to compliment each other. Like, offense, you got to compliment the defense. Defense, you got to compliment the offense. And we got to go out here and play with your hair on fire. And hopefully we can get everybody that's out there that work as hard as they do on the field in the game. So they're playing at the same place. So I thought they did a great job. Hopefully we start this conference off with a great victory against a very skilled opponent in South Central. So if we can do what we're supposed to as players and coaches, then I think we'll be all right.
J.H. Rose football coming up tonight. They will host South Central in another installment of that rivalry in the conference. We'll talk a little bit about the Falcons in just a second. One of the other things, and this is just a fact as we're talking to Rapids head coach Will Bland here, the fact is you have been really banged up, and now you're getting a lot of those guys back healthy.
Yes, we lost a couple of guys. We lost starting corner the first week against Northern Naz, hurt shoulder. TJ Corey, who has his other starting corner, we lost him against Laney with a high ankle sprain. So, right now our starting quarterback is Jimmy Martin. But Chase Davis has been doing a great job at coming in and running the offense. And, skin some of our big guys back. So if we can stay healthy throughout the duration of this conference run, I think we'll be very in a good position to have a great record and get a good playoff season.
Will Bland with us, long-time coach in the high school ranks, and has been for the last handful of years the Rose head football coach, and of course played at ECU, and we mentioned played at Havelock. Let me ask you before we get into some more things with your team and also some things with your opponent tonight, South Central. You obviously were a star player at Havelock, a quarterback, and then came to ECU. What made you decide to head to ECU at the time? What allowed you to kind of choose that ECU would be the place for you?
Oh, well, and I was military brat. So my dad was a Marine, so that's how we ended up in Havelock. My last, he retired when I was a 10th grader from the Marine Corps. So we were down there. What ultimately helped me go to ECU was I had a bunch of colleges look at me, but everybody wanted me to play DB. And I played little D, but I was great DB with my ball skills and stuff. So, but they wanted me to play DB. I wanted to play quarterback when I got into college. So at all, like UNC, who was that? NC State, all of them wanted me to play DB. I think Wolford, South Carolina wanted me to play DB, but East Carolina was the only school that was going to give me an opportunity to play quarterback. And I thought that was a big plus for me that at least they will give me a shot to play where I want to play. Now, did I play quarterback at ECU for 2 days before they told me to go wide receiver? So, but here's the thing: they let me have opportunity to do it. So it was fun.
Who was the quarterback during your years?
Oh, during my years, so when I first got there, we had Paul Trost and Desmond Robinson, but then J.P. Pigney ultimately took over the starting spot.
Yep.
Those quarterbacks. And I had Coach Shangwaller, he was there with me too. So we had about 5 quarterbacks in the quarterback room.
A lot of familiar names there, really are. Blake Harrell, what about the job you think he's doing right now for our Pirates?
Oh, I think he's doing a great job. I mean, like he has so much energy, and his players feed out the energy that he shows. He shows that he cares. That's one of the big things in coaching, that you can show your team that you care about. You willing to do the hard thing. You know that you're going to be there to support them. They know you got their back. And them guys can go out there and play. They don't want to disappoint you. So I think he's doing a great job in that. He's also a great guy to talk to whenever we get up. He comes over, talk football and stuff. So I think he's doing a great job, and hats off to him that he keep this thing rolling and keep getting wins.
Yep, that's the key thing. Just keep winning, baby. That's really what it is. Will Bland joining us here. It is the 50th anniversary of Rose's first state championship football team. They won a regional title in the 60s when the state recognized those as an East State champ and a West State champ. And then, of course, there have been the great Rose teams that won those 4 in a row, and the Cornell Powell team played for a state championship. You coached a team in 21 that played for a state championship. So Rose has been a frequent visitor to deep playoff runs. And so when you look at all of those guys back in town this weekend for the South Central game, an event last night in Greenville, and then a pregame tailgate this evening, that is one of the great things about this program is the names change, but there's a lot of lineage and a lot of tradition.
Oh, yeah, I think so, too. And, it's all that phrase that tradition never graduate. And, just to see that first 1975 team come back against South Central and the kids get to play for them on the field, it has to be a big pressure for our guys. But, hey, just know, these guys have been doing it since 1975. They've been watching, they hear, they want to see him play. They want to be on the atmosphere of this field. So it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun night.
Well, Bland with us, Coach. The 7 coaches in the county, the 6 public, and Sean Murphy at JP2. I mean, I think it's probably as a good a collection of people as you can have coaching these different teams. And we, I get to, them all well. I get a chance to work with all of them in some capacity. So I really enjoy that, as I know you do too. But let's talk a little bit about Ryan Bowie. I think I really like him, and talked to him on the radio here a couple weeks ago, and then talking to him this week ahead of the game. I think he's got the right temperament, the right outlook to be successful at South Central. And also, what do you think of their team as you look at them?
Well, I think the Bowie has been doing a great job. I've been around for a while, and I've seen all the South Central programs go in there. I think that he has done a great job of instilling discipline in the guys, and like you can tell that they want to win. It's not like, hey, we always been losing. Now they got a different attitude. They got a different mindset. So hats off to him. And, he's a great friend of mine. We talk. He just want to change the culture there, and I think he's in the right step and change the culture over there. Trying to have a better non-conference schedule with better opponents, so you can have at least a shot when you get in this conference. How quality the teams are in this conference. He has been doing a tremendous job of that right there. Their team is going to be a tough team. And, like, anytime you play a rivalry team, you got those records out the window, because it's not about the records anymore. It's about bragging rights, basically. So, if you can go out there and you can execute the game plan, and you can check your emotion, you can not be too high, not be too low. So you got a possibility of winning no matter what side of the ball you're on. If you're a South Central fan or if you're a Rose fan. So hopefully we can harness all that and make sure that where we need right in the middle, not too high, not too low, to be able to come out on top tonight.
Coach, what would be some of the things that you need to do from an execution standpoint and otherwise, kind of bullet pointing them keys to the game, if you will?
Well, the keys to the game is number one is we got to eliminate the penalties that we get. That was a big factor in our Middle Creek game. We scored on the opening drive, then got the second drive, and then got 5 penalties in a row that backed us up. We was on a 6-yard line, and we ended up on a 35. So, we had to punt in that aspect of it. We got to minimize the penalty. We got not stupid penalties like false started and jumping outside, or me being on my part, delay a game. I got to be aware of all that stuff to make sure our guys had the opportunity to be successful. And on the defensive side of the ball, we just got to be able to put some pressure on the quarterback, and we got to make tackles, wrap up. We can't do any stupid penalty, grabbing the face mask. You got to do what you taught. Use your technique, and do what you've been taught at practice and execute in the game. And then the third phase of the game, second thing, hey, we can't do anything stupid. Like, if your job is to make sure the ball go out of bounds or catch the kickoff return, catch the ball, make sure we got the ability to get the ball back and put our team in a position to at least try to go back and tie the game, or at least try to go down the score and stuff.
Coach Bland, it's been great working with you this year. Looking forward to the stretch run, and looking forward to the matchup tonight.
I appreciate you. Can't wait to enjoy. I love listening to it on radio.
All right, Will Bland with us here, and we'll have the game for you tonight on 94.3, the game in the IBX Media app. J.H. Rose playing host to South Central. We hope that you will tune in and listen to that. We'll be on the air at 6:50 as Stephen Walter and I will be broadcasting from Percy Daniels Field. All right, big thanks to Mike Mullis for being on with us today. Also thanks to Coach Bland. Coming up, we will have Tiebreakers as our destination on Monday, back there for the Patrick Johnson Show live and in color this week. Pilk will join me on site, so we hope we'll see you for that and Inside Pirate Athletics. It'll be game week as ECU will take on Tulane. All right, have a great rest of your weekend, everybody. Stay safe out there and be well, and talk to you soon.